Yo, JD here, Tyrolimus, and as you can see here today, we are at Spain, and we're going to be talking over this little commentary, or this little footage I had done yesterday, I think, which is in a wet 5-lap race around Spain, Catalonia, and this is a really good race, and I drove really well in this one, in the wet, which seems to be transferred over from the last game as well, and against some quite good drivers in here. This is an open lobby, so thank you so much for people who are joining. Probably be doing some tonight, every single night in the evening, so just follow me on Twitter if you're on Xbox and you want to be invited to this. And I just thought this would be just a good video, just a little showcase, hopefully a first video in the tip series that I plan to do. So this one is just going to be talking about the wet. I'll probably be doing time trial for the wet as well, as I am doing for the dry, which unfortunately I'm trying to get these dry setups out every single day, but I've started a new job actually today, in fact, as well, which is long hours, early start, getting back quite late, and I'll do the best I can. Every few days I'll definitely be doing a setup, trying to get it out, but it's just really hard to find some time at the moment. But I recorded this yesterday, so I thought this would be a good video for today, but I will definitely try and get the setups out as soon as possible. But yep, this is going to be my first one in the series. I'll probably be going over traction control, manual gears, and I'll be doing probably just like a video of each track in the wet and a lot more detail in the dry once I get all my setup videos out of just how to really approach corners, doing it in like slow motion and everything as well. Just a lot more detailed video, but yeah, hope you're enjoying that in the game as well. But moving back to this, talking about the wet here, and the wet seems to be something I've always really enjoyed in F1 games. I think that's mainly down to playing games like PGR4, which is in the wet. And that game, that's the game where I really learned how to actually drive properly in the wet, and I feel it's actually really helped me from playing in F1 games and just driving in general. That's the game where, if you haven't played it before, if you have, then you know what I mean, because there's no assist in that game. And it's really hard to control, so many different cars, so many different tracks, weather conditions. You even had ice and snow, so you had to really be good on traction and everything in there. But we've got already Salted in front of us, trying to get past her, which is actually a girl player who's really good at this game, actually, in fact. So props to her. But yeah, in the wet, talking over this, I think it's really important to downshift quite slowly. That's something really important, and you'll be able to see on the top right hand side, we're using lean mix through the corners, so that is probably my number one tip, is use lean, going rich on the little straights you can see here, and then go back to lean again. So even though that probably wouldn't make that much difference, it will make a slight bit of difference, maybe a thousandth of a second or something like that. But that's something I really recommend, because if you're in lean mix, the engine revs will not be as high as they could be with rich, and you'll just get better traction off the corners. So you can see here, going back and lean once again. The braking points, I'd say they're about 20 to 30 meters earlier than you would do in the dry. And braking, you can make up so much time, because if you can trail brake effectively, which hopefully we're showing this video, you can see here, you know, being quite cautious. I think maybe next lap going to Tell 1 will probably be a better example of that, or going into the corner before 63. But we're going to go down the inside here, so you can see really cautious on the throttle. And always try and keep the car straight before going full throttle. That's something I do. So I brake, point, and then once I'm straight, that's when I actually go in full throttle. So going into here, let's see if we do trail brake. You can see, yep, that's quite a good example. So going 100% on the brakes, and then as you're unwinding the car, rotating the car into the corner, you want to be going about 80% on the brake, and then going off completely. It's something that's, you can watch this video and it's really hard to replicate. It's just something you've got to have with feeling, and throughout time, the more you do in the wet, that's just something that you'll just naturally just get. So you can see going into here now, again, we're not even on, I don't think we're even on the 100% brakes anymore. I think we're about 80% max. So it's just really the case of just getting that feel. So going to here again, you can see not 100% on the brakes. So it's really important to trail brake, and if you can do it effectively in the wet, it's going to be really beneficial for you. So you can see going in rich mix again, downshift a lot slower than what you do in dry. So you can see I'm normally someone, and I see in the comments that I downshift very quickly, especially in dry, and I let the gears rev out. in the dry as well. I mainly do that in time trial. When I'm actually racing online, I'm a lot more aware of what I can do because I know it will damage the engine. And in this game, that's something I've really worked on. And so far, I haven't damaged my engine at all when I've actually been racing in the dry. So you can see, we've got a short shift through here, holding it out, 4th gear there, and going onto the straight. So we'll talk over the braking points now for this lap. So we managed to do a 33.9 or something, which is a really, really quick lap. In the wet, and the setups at the beginning too. So braking at 100 meter walls, it's the same place you brake in the dry, but you just got to be really, really confident on the brakes for this one. We're using the same brakes as we do in the dry, same setup. I think we're using 7.7 wing, and I think we just turned back the ballast a little bit. That's something I definitely do recommend. So braking probably about 20 meters earlier for that corner. It's just something you just get over time, but we're 3 tenths up. So this is, I remember this lap was really good. So as you go past the pole, take quite a late apex, something I also say in the wet as well. But now going up to rich between this little mini straight, back down to lean, braking just a little bit before we normally do, try and take these curves as much as possible. As you can see, almost losing the car, and as the curve finishes, that's the turning point. Try and carry as much speed as possible, but always important, try and keep the car as straight as possible. That's something that is crucial for this. You can see a little bit of a late apex again, but doesn't really matter too much as long as you're getting good exit. Then that's the most important thing. For that fast left, I find it's beneficial to actually rev out the car in 3rd gear through there. You're not really going to be at risk damage your engine in the wet because you're using lean mix. So that's the reason why I've done it for that corner. Coming up here, you want a short shift for this last corner, so short shift into 4th. And once the car's straight, that's when I go on full throttle, rich mix. I think we're going to go even quicker this lap, which we do. And I believe we actually go faster again on this last lap. So the setup's working really well, similar to my dry, but just making it a little bit higher on the wings. You don't have to go up massively higher. I'd say maybe 1 to 2 clicks absolute most, really. That's all you really need to do. You don't need to change it that much because you still want good straight line speed. But definitely on the ballast, I would recommend actually going down 1 on that for sure. And with the 50/70 transmission, that's something that really helps in the wet as well. It just gives you really, really good traction. It may not actually be the quickest overall on like a real fast hot lap, especially in the dry, but in the wet, and I feel in the race especially, in all conditions, I think that's probably the best compromise that you're going to do for that. So things I recommend: downshifting slowly, short shifting up a couple of gears, and making sure in lean mix throughout the corners at all times, only going rich on a little bit on the straights, and just make sure you're in a straight line when you really do apply that full throttle. As you can see, let's watch the throttle now. No, just about on full throttle. So going through here, keeping it in 3rd gear just really helps the car stable, and because if I go in 4th, it will actually side the car out actually quite a bit. So going to here now, 4th gear as we do in the dry, being really cautious. You can see about 50% on the brakes, and it's hardly touching the brake pedal, so it's really important not to lock up. So being very, very delicate on the brakes, and once you get a feel for that, that will help. So going across the line now, and I think we actually improve again, which we do, a 33.4, which I can tell you is a really seriously good lap around there. So I hope my driving, the little showcase there, helped you a little bit. Those few little tips, I plan to do it for each track itself, so just going through the gears and how I approach each corner. And as I said, once I've done all my dry setups, I will be going to the track in more detail through like race video or race footage, or me actually doing it online rather than just a 1 lap pace, because I feel in the dry I feel in the race itself it's a whole different kettle of fish. You've got to approach it so differently to what you do in qualifying, even with the setups and stuff as well. So that's something I will be going through in future. I might just call it tips and tricks as I did before. I think I did in 2013. I did that a few times, so that was pretty good. So hopefully that has helped you, given you a few little tips, and just watching that as well, hopefully you can take something from that. But if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. As always, thank you for the support. It's incredible. Thank you so much. It's really, really humbling to me. As long as I'm helping out you guys, then that's the main thing. So you can see against quite a good grid there, really, really good lap time. So pretty happy about the setup working pretty well. So let me know what you want to see next. Azerbaijan, I will try and get that tomorrow. If not, it should be the day after, but it will definitely be this week. So thank you so much, and see you there.